The Night Shift Nobody Wants Part 3. Have you ever wondered what really happens in hospital morgues after dark? Today we're diving into 3 bone-chilling encounters that'll make you think twice about hospitals. Picture this. It's 3 a.m. and the hospital corridors are empty, except for the occasional nurse doing rounds. The lights flicker, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Down in the basement, where the morgue sits, strange noises echo through the cold, sterile air. These aren't just stories to keep you up at night. They're real experiences from hospital staff who've seen things they can't explain, from whispering corpses to phantom surgeons. These encounters have left even the toughest medical professionals shaken to their core. Get ready, because these 3 stories might make you think twice about that late-night hospital visit. Trust me, after hearing these, you'll never look at a hospital the same way again. The morgue that came alive. I talked to this security guard, let's call him Jake, who had the night shift at a big city hospital. Jake told me about a night that still gives him nightmares. It was around midnight, and Jake was doing his usual rounds. The hospital was quiet, just the usual beeping of machines and the shuffle of nurses' shoes. Suddenly, the lights flickered and went out. The backup generator kicked in, but it only lit up the emergency exits and a few hallways. Jake radioed in to report the power outage, then headed down to check on the morgue. He said he always hated going down there, but it was part of his job. As he walked down the dark hallway to the morgue, Jake said he felt like something was off. The air felt heavy, and he could have sworn he heard whispers coming from behind the closed door. Jake pushed the door open, and that's when things got really weird. The emergency lights were casting strange shadows on the walls, making the body bags look like they were moving. Jake shook his head, telling himself it was just his imagination. But then he heard it, a rustling sound, like someone shifting under sheets. Jake froze, his flashlight beam shaking as he swept it across the room. That's when he saw it. One of the body bags was moving. Not just shifting slightly, but actually moving like someone was trying to sit up inside it. Jake said he couldn't believe his eyes. He blinked hard, hoping it was just a trick of the light. But when he looked again, it wasn't just one bag moving. It was 3, 4, 5 of them. Jake's heart was pounding so hard he could hear it in his ears. He wanted to run, but his feet felt like they were glued to the floor. He watched in horror as one of the bags started to unzip from the inside. That's when Jake snapped out of it. He turned and ran, slamming the morgue door behind him. He sprinted down the hallway, fumbling with his radio to call for help. When backup arrived, they found Jake huddled in a corner, shaking and mumbling about moving bodies. They checked the morgue, but everything was normal. No moving bags, no unzipped bodies. The official explanation was that Jake had some kind of panic attack brought on by the power outage and the creepy morgue vibes. But Jake swears he knows what he saw. After that night, Jake quit his job at the hospital. He told me he couldn't handle being in that building anymore, always wondering if the bodies in the morgue were really as dead as they seemed. I asked Jake if he ever considered that maybe it was all in his head. He just looked at me with these haunted eyes and said, "Man, I wish it was. But I know what I saw. And let me tell you, it changed the way I think about life and death." Jake's story really messed with my head. I mean, what if he really did see something? What if those bodies weren't as dead as everyone thought? You know how people say time heals all wounds? Well, for the folks who've had these creepy encounters in hospital morgues, time doesn't seem to be doing much healing at all. These experiences stick with them, changing how they see their jobs and even life itself. And here's the thing that really messes with my head. What if these experiences are trying to tell us something? What if that line between life and death isn't as clear as we think it is?